is, what do you want? What makes you itch? What sort of a situation would you like? Would you like?
There you are.
Hello.
Good morning.
How are you? Good morning. Well, it's morning for you, right? It's 9 a.m.?
Yeah. 9 a.m.
9. Oh,
Still light up.
Right. How's it going?
Good. How are you doing?
Good.
You're running around. I know you have your Airbnbs to be getting ready in Turo.
Yes. No, we're actually at a unit right now. We're cleaning it so we can get ready for a guest that comes at 4. And then we gotta go run to 2 more. So it's just a busy day, but fun. It's all fun stuff. It's all fun.
No, it'll always turn out, it's gonna work out. Those guests are gonna love it.
Yeah, you look good, by the way. You're
I put my face on.
I love it. I like her before you wine. I love
No, I'm super excited.
Me too.
I had a couple people email me. They're like, "What time is the live at?" So I'm excited to be talking about it and answer everyone's questions.
By the way, is the music too loud in the back?
Oh, nope. Is that
Okay.
my phone?
Okay.
I will.
Okay, I'm like, let me know if the music's too loud in the background. I'll turn it down.
No, you're good. You got your ambiance set.
Yeah. Oso City. If no anyone else Oso City, just Oso City on the TV playing some jams. So we use that, or we listen to our cleaning. It helps get us in the mood.
Of course. No, I can completely agree with that.
Yeah.
So why don't we get started as more people come in, because I don't want to keep you too long. I know you have tons on your plate to do, but why don't you start with your bio?
Okay, well, first off, I just want to say thank you for even reaching out to me. When you reached out to me to do this live, I was really excited because I look up to you, and you have very beautiful work. You've been doing this for years. You're an interior designer and coach for Airbnb. So I just want to say thank you for even reaching out. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
No, really. But hi, y'all. My name is Kierra. I'm a high-level Airbnb coach and host, as well as a Turo host. So we do the cars too. And really, I started Airbnb 2 years ago. And then my husband went on deployment, stopped for a little bit. Then he came back, and then we started again. So now he's out the military, so now we can focus solely on Airbnb, and we do mainly arbitrage. Well, only arbitrage right now, and it's just been such an amazing experience. I love it. I love it so much.
Oh, wow. And so mainly arbitrage right now. That's good. You really have to have your sales are on point.
You do. Yeah, your sales skills gotta be on point. You gotta read all the books, learn from the best. That's really the only way to get these landlords to say yes, is to just understand it's a sales game, literally, and just know all the sales tactics, but use them appropriately and legally and ethically.
That's definitely important.
Yes.
Well, I'm super excited to have you, and of course, thank you so much. As soon as I came across your profile, I've been following you for a little bit now, but I was like, we have to connect.
Yeah.
And everyone kind of watching on here, Kierra and I actually jumped on a call last night.
And sat for 3 hours.
Yeah, I feel like they missed out on that live.
The masterminding.
We definitely hit it off. We've already planned the next 5 years of each other's
lives. Literally. I love it.
So no, I'm very excited for what's in store for us, and everyone on the live today that we can help out and answer any questions.
Yes.
For anyone following on Kierra's side, my name's Tatiana. I'm an award-winning designer in Vancouver, Canada. I actually help individuals not only design beautiful homes, but create passive income through short-term rentals. We both offer coaching programs and everything like that. So if anyone has any questions, we are your gals.
Literally.
And Kierra, I'm not sure if you got to put it in your bio yet, but
oh, did I? Oh my gosh.
No worries.
I think I copied it. I don't know if I pasted it.
It's okay, no worries.
Okay,
but
I must not pasted it.
after the call,
right?
But in my bio, if anyone wants to join to our email list, we're actually going to be putting an email list together, sending out tons of different resources. It'll be in my bio and eventually in Kierra's after the call,
for sure.
for you guys to sign up. Well, how about we get started with
Yes.
some of
By the
the
way, I'm not
questions?
sure. We got another question inside to list. Someone, I don't know if this is already on the question list. I completely forgot, but it says, "How do you get capital to start your STR business?"
Oh yeah, well, I see
Yeah.
tons of
By the
them
way,
now.
guys, so for those who follow me, Tatiana's actually in Canada. I think that's just the coolest thing ever. So she's doing arbitrage in Canada. So it's possible. It's possible to do it in other countries too, not just America, you know. I mean, North America. Well, USA. I can say that.
It's okay. It's not, we're not in a geography class, so there's no judgment here. Oh, can you hear me? Oh, I
Is it
lost
better?
you. Yeah, no, you're good.
Okay. Is that? Is that? Oh
Yeah,
no.
I can see
Okay,
you
okay, I
perfectly.
can hear you now. Okay, I can hear you now. There
Okay,
we go.
good.
It was a good
Technical
technical comment.
difficulties.
I know, right?
Okay, so we have a couple of questions in the question box. Do you want to start with those ones, or do you want to start with the ones that we have saved over the stories over the time?
Ooh, I think we can go back and forth. So
Okay,
let's,
no, that's
yeah,
perfect.
yeah.
Okay, so let's start here
Okay.
with the first question. What do you wish you knew before you started your first Airbnb?
Mm. I wish I knew how to attain business credit before I started. Because I used all my savings. Like when we first started, I want to say I had interned at like a big four accounting firm for a couple of months and then like saved a lot from that and literally took that and invested in my first property. But looking back, if I'd known better, if I knew how to attain business credit, I probably just got as much, like I would have used those funds instead to personal guarantee like a line of credit and then have that same line of credit and have it be someone else's money and still have my cash and cash reserves. I wish I would have known that. So, in all
No,
honesty,
that's a good one.
yeah.
I definitely can relate to that. I feel like when I was talking to you yesterday, my first Airbnb, I was like, okay, 7,000 on my credit card. Let's
Right.
hope this works out.
Oh yeah. Oh, that was the 7-bedroom one.
Yeah, so I was out of my mind, you guys, and did a
Right.
7-bedroom Airbnb, which I ran like a hostel. So,
Yeah.
but even with putting, that risk on the line, it did pay off. And in a month and a half, I was turning a profit and paid off everything. So,
Period. I'm so
yeah,
proud of you. That's a huge accomplishment, by the way.
thank
Most people can't
you.
get past the
Thank you.
third month without like profiting. So
Well, it's all, yeah, all about organization,
yeah.
honestly. And I think you can agree with this, Kara. Like, it's, if you get this down to it, like, it's a science. If you work it down exactly to a T, like, everything can be automated and run smoothly.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'm super excited that you've been doing this and now we can connect and kind of like share so much information.
Yes, absolutely.
I guess for me, what I wished before I started my first Airbnb was just like that it was honestly that it was possible. There's so many people out here in Canada that are
Yeah.
they're like, oh, well, there's so many rules and like they're too scared to put
Uh-huh.
themselves out there and like take
Yeah.
that leap and try. And honestly, it was the best thing that I ever like got into. But again, I'm obsessed with like hospitality and constantly making
Yeah,
sure that everyone's having like a
same.
good
Making sure
stay.
everyone's good. Like, are you good?
Yeah.
Honestly. By the way, Car just hopped on. Hi, Car. We were talking
Hi,
about you last
Car. Yeah.
night. Oh my gosh.
No,
I
I'm
love
so
that.
glad. Hopefully she doesn't judge us. We're doing this right. I hope
I
I'll get all
know.
the tips from her afterwards.
I know. We need to book a consult with Car. Seriously.
She's the master at the live, so I'm super
Yes.
excited to get any feedback. It's much
Yes.
appreciated, Car.
Please.
Okay, so I guess do you want to ask a question from the question
Okay.
box?
Yes. So by the way, hi everyone. Hi Chris. Hi President. Hi Kiva. Hi Jen. Hi Jen. Hi everybody. I'm so happy to see
Yeah.
all y'all today. But one of the questions I saw was, I think it was how do you get capital to start your short-term rental business? Which I think is a really good question because
I feel like
there's
I'll
so
let
many
you take.
ways.
You know so much about that. I will let you take the floor with that one.
Honestly, okay. And you know what? I feel like the good thing about it is since we are in two different countries, we can both like kind of put it like our own experiences and how they've worked. But to get your short-term rental business funds for it, There's a couple of ways. I see one of my clients that just hopped on, and she actually, she had an investor, Marsha. She had an investor give them 10,000, and all they have to do is find a property, furnish it, and she was good to go. So that's one way to find people like me or anyone else to like invest in your idea and show them a business plan, even if it's a one-page business plan. But I feel like that's like in our day and age, it's like really hard. So a more practical way, that is practical, but a more practical way, if you are in the US, is to kind of go for the business credit route. So get all your business stuff together. Get your LLC. Make sure you got a business address, business phone number, business website, all these things. Well, business website if you're like doing higher funding. But once you have all the stuff needed to be a business, then you can go out and start getting like tier 1 credit cards, tier 2, and build your way up to tier 4. But when you're starting off, I just learned this from one of my good friends, but there's this company called Divvy. Get Divvy, I think. Have you heard of it? No, they have ads everywhere. But long story short, Divvy, they don't use your social security number to personal guarantee business credit, nor do they look at your business credit. But they do look at your business bank account. So if you have about 30,000 saved and you're like, I don't know what to do with this, apply for Divvy, make sure you have everything together, and make sure you have that 30,000 in the bank account so that when you are applying, it's like basically during they kind of like match whatever you have in your bank account. So imagine getting $30,000, not your money, and all you did was show that you have $30,000. And this is not my hack. I learned this from a great friend who's literally a beast in the credit game. And yeah, so I would say that's probably the most popular, or the most relevant way. Do it after hours or when they're about to close, so that an automated system can accept you and not a human. Like an automated system can look at your application, but it's so much. There's so many ways.
That is some good ideas, actually. Like one of my clients right now is doing the investor way. She actually found an investor that's looking for a property, and the real estate agent that I'm doing a live with next week actually helped find that Airbnb property out here, because Vancouver has so many rules. We have to jump through so many hoops to get Airbnb, but you know, once you follow all the, you know, rules and regulations about it, you're good to go. But yeah, they're super excited. He's getting the property and she's going to do all the property management and setup. So they kind of both win-win scenario.
It's a win-win. It's a win-win.
Of course. Okay, next question. If your Airbnb is new, what are the most critical things you should focus on?
I want to hear from you. What do you think? Because I feel like you have the eye for design. So it's a good question for you.
Honestly, so it definitely depends on, I always say experience. I'm huge on experience. I always run all my Airbnbs, and I tell all my clients to run their Airbnbs like they're a 5-star hotel. Like no matter what, you are, as I was telling you last night, you are the Four Seasons yourself. The concierge, the cleaner, you know, the handyman, that's all you, the valet. Like,
right.
But the thing that is the most important is, of course, just having necessities. So you want to think about, if this was your own home, what are the things that you need that are those day-to-day necessities that make you feel comfortable in your space? There's tons of different ways that you can, you know, get furnishings and everything for your home ready. But, you know, it's a comfortable bed is huge. A queen bed. Like, I'm big on, it has to be, if at all costs possible, get a queen bed. Try not to go smaller, but unless you're like, the room
People
is
go
too
smaller
tiny.
than queen?
Sometimes, yes. And I've literally seen people's reviews come back and they're like, it was like a couple, and they were trying to like fit on a double bed, and they were like, this was uncomfortable and a horrible sleep for us. And I'm like, you need the queen. Unless you're trying to make like a bedroom out of a den or anything like that. Something. But, you know, then you go for like a twin or the two twins or something like that. But a comfortable queen bed is so important, and you don't have to, you know, spend anything crazy, like, you know, going and getting Serta or anything like that. But There's great, beds that you can source on Facebook
Yeah.
Marketplace, even just make sure they're clean.
Right.
And, there's great companies like Good Morning is a great company online where they're just going to ship that right to your house. Same with like Endy and everything, and you'll already have it set up, which I don't know if many of you have been moving mattresses. It's a nightmare. So,
Oh my gosh. It's a nightmare for real. No, honestly, I agree with you. Now, what I would say too is what we do, and this might be, unpopular opinion, but we actually buy the cheapest mattress out there. Like, we find the cheapest of the cheap, and we put a 2 to 3 inch mattress topper on it.
Oh,
and when
that's
I tell
a
you,
good way to
it's
work
like a Tempur-Pedic. So the thing is, we actually had a guest who did ruin everything, and it was my fault because I didn't have a zippered mattress protector. But he ruined the mattress topper. If I hadn't had that mattress topper there, I would have to replace the mattress between stays, and we had another stay right after. So it's also a great layer of protection for your mattress. So you don't have to replace. It's easy to
protection in more ways than one.
Yes, exactly. And then they are so comfortable. So people are always like, "This is the most comfortable bed we've slept in." And I'm like, "Oh, it's not a bed. It's just a topper." So it's a little hack for y'all right there. That's what we do for all of our properties. So.
Yes, that is so good. I definitely agree with that. Any way to like just make sure that your clients are getting a comfortable sleep, because that is, someone says, "Oh my God, what did that guest do to ruin everything?" I'm sure you don't want to know.
That's a whole story. Long story short, this guy, he basically ruined a pillow. We got paid for all of it, and we got an extra cleaning fee. He paid it. So he ruined the pillow, the duvet cover, the mattress topper, some pillowcases. It was my fault. I should have had if I had a zippered mattress protector, we probably wouldn't have had to replace the mattress topper. But, again, I'd have had to replace the mattress topper before I had to replace the mattress between stays. The topper brand, I don't have a specific one. It's honestly just anything that has good reviews, and it has good reviews, really.
Perfect. Let's see. Do you want to pull another question out of the question box?
Yes. Oh my gosh. Okay, let's see. Someone said, what if you're starting from zero, obtaining business credit? So everything that I said before, that's literally from starting from zero. Like, if you're starting from zero, if you're at zero and you have everything, your LLC, your EIN, your DUNS number, your business phone number, all that stuff, like, you're set, you can literally do the divvy thing. And again, like I say, I don't claim anything that's not mine. That's my great friend's. Her name's Nikel, and she told me about that tip. So, yeah. So, but I know we have a lot of good questions too on the list.
I know we do. This one I like. If you have a new place ready to host, how do you establish yourself competitively in the market?
I want to hear your answer. What do you think?
Oh, I am all about, I'm all about experience.
Yes.
You want your guests to have 5-star experience from the moment that they actually book with you on Airbnb to the moment that they check out.
Yep.
And one thing, I know some people automate it a bit more than I do, but because I'm more hands-on with the hospitality side, I actually have a system in place, which I also teach all my clients, basically from start to finish, exactly what to say, how frequently to check up with your guests and everything like that, which also helps you throughout the process, kind of get ahead if there's any problems. So you can make sure that you deal with those problems and provide a solution before checkout and before review time.
Yeah. I love that. It's true. And then also, because you mentioned something, the experience, like, even from the time they look at your listing, like, you better be a 5-star picture when they first see your listing, But no, you're absolutely right. And I guess my answer for that, if you are starting off from scratch, and you want to be competitive, is look at your market and see what your market's missing. So when we started in Virginia, what we noticed is a lot of the homes on Airbnb were very old style. Everyone did like Victorian or charming, and we were like one of like 2 or 3 in the entire market to be modern. If there were more modern ones, they're probably not even on the first 15 pages, so we didn't see them. So we literally made our way up to the very first page on incognito, and on everyone else's browsers, we made our way up to like the 3rd spot, because we were different. We had, the bright photos. It was modern. It was artsy. It's just not what Virginia was used to. but it had a lot of hits, and we were able to charge way more than our competitors with a little one bed, one bath. So to stand out from your competitors, look at what they're not already doing and do that stuff, even if it's doing a themed unit. So
100%. And like
yeah,
for some people, you don't have to have like even using like AirDNA to see your competition and everything
yeah,
from there. I love AirDNA.
yeah,
To really help set you apart. I
yeah,
completely agree with that.
yes.
Perfect. Let's see. What is the best way to determine the place you are buying will be an Airbnb hit? I guess that's kind of
Huh.
like the same.
Yeah, it depends. So for me, okay, I can't really speak on buying because I've never bought for Airbnb, but what I can say is if you are buying short term though, and you know that you're like in the short term, you're gonna probably like flip that and like, resell it soon and not keep it for a long period of time, just make sure that wherever you buy, the like if Airbnb were to go down, if people stop traveling again, if you have to turn your property into a long-term property, are you going to be able to still, make a profit and stuff like that? Just make sure you're still able to kind of do the same things that you did as like, you want the same, you want to be able to make the rent, and also make a profit too.
Mm-hmm. No,
Yeah.
okay. Let's see. Yeah, no, you're so right.
Yes.
What do we got here in the question box?
Jen, I love you so much. She's like, yes, find out what your market is missing. I love her so much.
So we kind of touched base on this last night, but if you live close to your unit, do you clean it yourself or hire out?
Huh. Well, to be honest, right now we're cleaning our own units. We had a cleaner, but not anymore. So because she got really busy with work, so she couldn't help us anymore. So right now we're cleaning all of ours, but we just got into contact with another cleaner. So we'll see if that goes well. But we don't live close to any of our units. We live like 30 minutes outside of the city, so we have to drive into the city to
Oh
clean
no.
all of our units. Yeah, it's fine. It's working for now, but I'm getting tired of this. In all honesty, it's 8 units. It's a lot. So
That is a lot.
yeah, it's a lot.
When I was doing that 7-bedroom house, I decided to do the cleaning myself. I don't know what I was thinking,
Yeah,
but I think for most people, it really depends, where you're at in your business, how many properties you have,
yeah,
and if automating with a cleaner actually makes sense.
yeah, yeah.
The one thing about that is, of course, if you have one property,
Mm-hmm.
I would maybe like look at doing it yourself for the first little bit. But also if you have one property and it's like a vacation property and you're nowhere near it, or you have no interest in doing that process, then
You
of
have to.
course automate it out. You know, don't find just one cleaner. I always like to have a backup in case,
Yeah,
because you never know. Life happens. And make sure that you have a checklist and systems in place so these cleaners follow every procedure to a T, because the last thing you need is something not being cleaned right or
yeah,
anything like that, and then
yes.
that gives you a bad review.
Man, when I tell you it happens, it's the worst. But here's what I can say. Because what you said was so important, like have 2 or 3 cleaners. But what I have realized, if you need people who are on backup, when we were in Virginia, our best cleaners were home, like stay-at-home moms. Or
Oh
stay at
wow,
home
yes,
wives.
they are. I
Yeah.
agree.
And they were military. So they didn't like, they already, their husbands were already out of employment. They had nothing to do. They just needed something to do. They wanted to make a little more money. I was a military wife, and I know that it is hard trying to get a job in a military city because they think you're going to leave. So they don't give you the jobs. So if you know any stay-at-home moms, join a stay-at-home mom group on Facebook and just see if anyone knows any good cleaners, or if anyone's willing to just come and learn and clean how to clean a unit. So there's so many options for you guys, though. So many.
So many.
By the way, you just got like 8 questions back to
I
back to
know.
back. so this is good.
We got so many here, everyone.
Yeah, so
Okay,
many.
so let's see here. What do you look for to find a potential arbitrage good Airbnb? So like, I guess, what do you look for when you're looking at a property to make sure that it will be profitable in Airbnb, I guess?
Yeah. What's the answer for that in Canada? Like, how do you determine that?
Honestly, when I'm looking for a property, I like to make sure I check how close it is to transit.
Okay.
And another thing is like what is around it, amenities
Mm,
wise, like is
yeah.
there a gym close by?
Mhm.
is, you know, a lot of people that are traveling on Airbnb, sometimes they're like doctors, is the hospital nearby, bars and restaurants, local
Yeah.
parks. So like, for example, anyone, if you're on here in Vancouver, great areas to start looking and get started is Mount Pleasant Main Street area. It is like exploding, and they're putting in the new train station. But anything along there, can be in 20th, Yaletown. So there, you know, there's tons of different things. And then of course, Kitsilano for people who like to be by the beach. You have to come out here, Kierra, so you can see all these spots.
I do. I will be there. The west coast of Canada. I'll be right there with you.
And then anyone that is living in the interior, Kelowna, you know, the Okanagan and Penticton. I'm actually looking in Penticton myself to get a vacation rental. So I'm super excited for that, but I'm so picky. I keep like searching and I'm like, well, this one, and I need it to be exactly what I need and less renos. I don't want to do any renos.
Yeah, I feel that 100%. Oh.
Perfect. So what do you think? What do you look for?
That's the whole masterclass right there. But in all honesty, to give you guys like a quick, 30-minute idea, the area has to be highly profitable per my numbers. So for me, if the numbers don't work, I don't do it. In Houston, for example, I did my research on every single of the 96 zip codes here in Houston. And what I did is I figured out what is the average daily rate. So how much are people charging on average in this area? What is the occupancy rate? Meaning, what is how much of the month am I being booked out? So the occupancy rate, if it's 50%, that tells me I'm going to be booked out 15 days out of the month, because 50% of the month is 15 days out of 30. I mean, if I'm able to charge, let's say 200 a night, then that's, I think 3,000 a month. Wait, hold on, 15 times 200. Yeah, that's 3,000 a month. 3,000 a month I can make. So I have to see, I have to look at that every single zip code and look at the potential profit. And then after I compare all of the numbers, I have to say, okay, let me go to each of these zip codes and see what the rents are in the area. What is the average rent for a 1-bedroom, 1-bath? Or even the mortgage? How much of a mortgage am I going to be paying on this kind of property? And does it make sense? Like, for example, I could be, paying $4,000 for rent at a unit, and I'd be making $8,000. So that's a $4,000 split. Like, I'm making an extra $4,000. Or, for example, you might be making, your numbers might tell you could be making $3,000, but the rent is like $900. So it's like, okay, it's not a lot, but I'm still gonna be making some money in the middle, more than $500. So it's a whole conversation. But if the numbers make sense, I do it. In all honesty.
No, yeah, that definitely makes sense.
Yes, absolutely.
I'll let you pick the next question.
Mm-hmm.
There's so many. I'm like overwhelmed.
So many. Okay. Well, I see. Oh, Kita, thank you. Please send that person my way. I do need a cleaner. So I think the most popular question I get all the time in my DMs is like, how do you get over the no from landlords? So I think I'm going to answer that. So when it comes to convincing people to let you do Airbnb at their property, I always say, put yourself in this person's shoes. You list your property. This might have been your first investment property. It's your baby, right? You take care of it. You done renovated it. It's your baby. And then you have someone calling saying, hey, I was wondering if I can do, I have a short-term rental management company. Can I do Airbnb here? You're like, no, like, it's my baby. I want a long-term guest. You have people in and out. Like, there's just so many objections to it. So you have to step back and say, okay, for this person I'm talking to, because every conversation is different. There is no such thing as a script here. Only thing is there's pain points that you have to solve. So if one person's, if a landlord's like, oh yeah, I don't know if I'm okay with you doing Airbnb because there's gonna be people in and out. My neighbors won't like that. Okay, then you have to think of like, what can I say to this person so that it can ease that pain point? If they're worried about people coming in and out, how can I make them feel comfortable? Maybe that's only have people check in between this time and this time so that it's not a lot of moving around, or that neighbors won't see the people checking in. Maybe it's doing background checks on every single person to make sure, they're good to go. Just making it, you have to think about what are some ways I can minimize this fear of theirs. And sometimes it does take a little education and like talking to me and Tatiana. But nonetheless, you have to figure out, why doesn't this person like Airbnb? Did they hear about a party on CNN and they're scared? Did they hear about cameras? What is it? Why are they scared? And how is my company different? How can I prove to them? If someone's like, "Oh, are you trying?" The top question you get when you're calling is, "Are you trying to do Airbnb?" That's what they all say. And what you have to say is, "No, I'm not trying to do Airbnb. This is not an Airbnb business. It's a short-term rental business. We just market on Airbnb. It's just one of our marketing platforms, one of our marketing channels." You know, McDonald's marks, you know, they market on billboards. This company markets on Google and Facebook ads. Just like everyone has a marketing platform, for my business, my customers and my consumers come from sites like Airbnb. So that's a whole conversation, but I don't know if that answers your question.
I think that was a good answer, 100%. One of the things that I find, like, a lot of objections out here that you get is a lot of people think like their house isn't gonna, because it's short-term rental, that
Yeah.
it's not gonna be taken care of, that it's gonna be
It's another
trashed
one.
and wear and
It's another
tear.
one.
One of my favorite, like, I just love, I'm like, give it to me, give that,
Yeah,
because like
yeah.
I love overcoming that objection, because one of the things they, you know, the response is, here's the response for you guys right now.
Yeah.
If someone is concerned about wear and tear on their property and how many people are, you know, coming in and going over short-term rentals, honestly, you break it down like this: because you want 5-star reviews, we are a short-term rental business. This is, you know, our reviews are everything. That is our
Yeah.
gravy. This property is going to be cleaned and taken care of and maintained,
Yeah.
like, you know, 100 times over compared
It
to a
has to
long-term
be.
tenant. So yeah,
Yeah.
you have to, for your, like, for your business, and this is what I say to them, like, this is my business, this is my name, this is my reputation. I have to hold it to a certain standard. Therefore, your property has to be held to a certain standard.
Yeah.
And that's something, and that usually right then and there they go, I never thought of it like that,
Yeah.
you know,
Because
and
oh no, go ahead. I did not mean to cut you off because you were on a roll
it's
there.
okay. I forgot what I'm saying now.
No, I'm so sorry. No, because I was gonna say, off of what you said though, the thing is, if you tell these people, yeah, I run a business, I have a whole business I'm running. If my pictures don't look like those pictures online, I will not get those 5-star reviews. Meaning, if something happens and there is damage anywhere, I gotta get that solved ASAP, because my next guests aren't fooling with it. I have to make sure I maintain 5-star reviews so that I can keep getting bookings from good people, to make sure you're getting good people in your property, to make sure that we're all getting paid. At the end of the day, it's beneficial for both of us. If it's not, but also I want to mention how someone said our president was like, McDonald markets on Uber Eats. Boom, there you go. Uber Eats is basically Airbnb, but for like food. Using like, it's the gig economy. Yeah, man, it's crazy. Objections are amazing.
Okay, perfect. I'm just reading some of these other
Okay, yeah.
questions.
So many good questions.
They've had, okay, so Blissful Origin says, I've had 2,000 views, but only about 30 bookings. What tips do you have to at least get 50% viewed to book? So I think I could answer that quick. Blissful Origin, maybe message me, because there might be something wrong with your listing or something that you're lacking
You
in
need
there.
an audit.
So I'd recommend messaging Kierra or I, and so we can have a look at your listing, and really kind of give you some insight on what's going wrong there and why you're not being booked out.
Yeah, I agree. And then also, Amanda, off of what we were just talking about, she said, should we offer extra rent if they say no? No, you need to find out what is the reason. Why don't they want you to? You need to find out. Also, someone just mentioned insurance too. You can mention that too. Like, if you're worried about damages to your property, you need to know your short-term renters insurance policy inside and out. So you can say, my insurance policy covers this many, you know, if I'm, you know, out of commission for this many days, they cover me for this many days. They also cover this amount of damages, these kind of damages. But yes, don't say, like, if they say no, find out why. Like, you know, is there a reason why? Like, you know, what turns you off about, you know, the business in general? I just want to understand, you know.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. We have a new property deciding between short-term and monthly for travel nurses. What is our thoughts on that? I think short-term.
Yeah, I mean, technically it's both, because travel nurses also stay for short periods of time.
So I think depending on the contract that you're getting,
Yep.
I would look at that. We get in my family's Airbnb up in Penticton, we get tons of travel nurses coming through and doctors. Yeah, so sometimes we actually, we kind of like look at what the season looks like. So in the summer, you better believe that is short term. That is the bread and butter up there. And then in the winter, we look more into the doctors and the nurses and anyone that's going to stay there kind of longer term, because that helps, you know, cover those any kind of slow seasons. You know, so really I'd say it's all about balance and really look at your calendar, and think about where you are going to get the most profit, as well as, you know, the most bookings, and then just kind of decipher from there. Renting by room or whole house. I thought nurses could rent per room. That is true. I've done it before.
It's up to you, whatever you want to do. If you want to split up the rooms, you can do that. If you want to rent out your whole house, it's really up to you. And then for the person who said got travel nurse in one of mine for 6 month stays or 6 month stays, I mean, the good thing is that for those stays, you get paid up front. And then also, it just depends. Like, what is your market looking like? Who are you calling? What kind of travel nurses are coming? Why are they coming? Are they coming with friends? Are they not? Do they have the budget? It's so many questions. Do you have public transit nearby? So many questions.
I wanna grab one from our previous one. Okay, so let's see here.
Okay.
Is it best to get your first unit where you live, or is another state or province fine?
My thoughts on this, you need to be in your city when you're first starting out. If you can't, just make sure you know someone that is in the city that you want to be, who you really can trust to go to your property if something goes wrong. You don't need to be, but it's good because you can kind of like learn the game, clean your property if you need to, and just kind of scale in your area. Now, if your area, it is illegal in your area, for example, like New York, then yeah, you might have to travel. I have friends who literally travel from New York, start Airbnbs here, and go back to New York within the same 2 weeks, and they're doing just fine. So y'all can do this, okay? It's doable.
I agree completely. You just have to have systems in place, and and your people in case anything happens.
And if anything happens, if you don't have a property manager, talk to your cleaner. Have your cleaner do the little runs for you. You know, hey, can you go give this person some batteries or whatever the case may be.
So what we'll do is, like, I know you have to go and do all your cleaning, so we'll do a couple more questions.
Okay.
And then, so what we'll do is, a couple more questions. How many you think we should do?
I could probably do one more.
One more?
Yeah,
he's running. Okay, no worries.
We could do two.
Okay, let's see here. Okay, so Sonia says they just listed their new place and it's monthly because of strata rules. So we have a booking for the month of July, then another one that starts August 29th. So I guess they're asking, should they take the booking? I would say yes, because you're like, we have booking for the month of July and then another one starts on August 29th. I'd say yes. There is going to be, that break, but I don't know how long they're staying in July, but you should be able to do, if someone fills up August as well, you should be able to cover that position. I don't think you'll have an issue. If that's what you're concerned about, basically having, not being able to fill the rest of August. Do you agree with that, Kierra?
Yeah, and what I want to say too is for those days that aren't even being booked, I mean, you can always kind of reach out to some surgeons in the area, some hospitals, and see who's over their outpatient unit and see if they have any shorter term stays. You can set up private deals with them, and have people stay shorter amounts of time, because then the law is not touched. You just kind of your deal. You're doing what you want to do. Not saying to do anything illegal, but at the same time, if you're talking to a surgeon and you have people come, for example, one of our patients, they had knee surgery, and one of our units, like, he can literally park in front of the unit, like steps from the unit, and then it's all one floor. So for him, it was easy, right? And if you can get clients like that who you can just kind of have a personal stay and not have to worry about the middleman, you'll be just fine too for the bookings in between.
100%. And Sonia, I know you're in Vancouver, so a big one for me is actually reach out to the film industry. That's where a lot of my clientele is. And those will be perfect because they're off of the platforms, and you can book those for as long as you want.
Yeah.
Okay, I will let you do the honors and pick the last question. This
Okay.
ended up, we were only going to be on here for 20 minutes.
Yes, it was so amazing, but it was so many good questions though.
But that means we just have to book again.
Right,
We will do another one of these.
We had to do a part 2. Aww. Okay, the last question. How about, this is hard because they're also good. Okay, I think this is a good one because I think this will cater to a lot of people, and I think both of us can answer this. When you are reaching out to landlords, Tatiana, do you call or email? Or do you meet them in person?
I think, honestly, if you're trying to do anything sales-wise, I think if you can get in front of them face-to-face, or at least on the phone and like set that appointment, that is the best way to do it. It's so easy for people to reject you and say no just through an email, or text message.
Get
it. But honestly, I think calling them, booking an appointment to meet face-to-face, even for a coffee, or like look at their property. Like I've done it where I have called clients off of, Zillow, Facebook Marketplace. They're like renting their units, and I've called them and I'm like, hey, I'm like outside your apartment. I just drove by, I'd love to check it out. And then I book the appointment with them, and then I start chatting with them about like what I do, what I can offer. I see, just like you said, Kierra, yesterday, figure out what their pain points are, and, see how you can help them, because it is not about you or your business. It's 100% about them. Yeah, of course. But
don't be selfish, y'all. Don't be selfish. Man.
Anything else you think you should add to that?
Sorry, these are some really good questions, but I would say no. I want to touch on, you said that it's like a lot of people forget that it's not about them. If someone says no, don't take it personal, like, oh well, dang, let me go call the next person. It's so rude. No, just find out what's going on in their head. Stop being selfish. It's not about you. You need to figure out what their pain points are. You're the one coming to them. They didn't come to you. You're coming to them to do your business. So just like the people at the kiosk at the mall, like you have to figure out like, what's the reason? Why? What's going on? Did I not create enough rapport when I first started talking on the phone with them? Do they not feel comfortable? Like, what is it that they didn't understand about my business model? Like, did they not understand? Like, just figure it out. But make sure that they are interested in enough to say yes. They have to be interested in order to get the yes, or to tell you their pain points. If they're interested enough, then they will tell you their pain points without even meaning to. So, by the way, hi, TJ.
I know. Hi, TJ. We have the real rentrepreneur. But he just actually, I think, jumped off of his master class. So I'm glad that he could come in, at least at the tail end. And then, hi, Donna. Nice to see you in here. Everyone, thank you so much for coming to this. We will be saving this live, so you'll be able to find it saved under our IGTVs.
Yes.
If you have any other questions, I definitely recommend, Kierra, just remember to put the link in your bio.
Yes.
Joining our email list, so we can definitely drop gems into your email box. Other than that, I am so grateful for the turnout today. I was like, we're going to be talking to one person.
And got us like 50, 60 people. I was like, yay! we're ultra influencers.
Yeah, I know. So everyone, thank you so much for your support and joining. I feel like we're on a little TV, and thank you for watching Spilling the Tea on Airbnb. Yeah. Perfect. Thank you, Kierra, and for your time so much, and good luck on getting everything done today. I know you will kill it.
Oh yeah.
And I have to.
Yeah, no. We're almost finished with this unit. We're about to finish cleaning it. My husband's doing most of the work. I feel so bad, so I'm about to hop off and help him with everything else.
Well, thank you to him too.
I know, honestly, but okay, yes. Let me know if there's anything else I can do for you, or if you need anything from me. I'm here for you.
Perfect, and same, of
Thank
course.
you.
Always a pleasure. Have a good day.
You
Bye,
too.
y'all.
Bye, Tatiana. Tatiana. Bye.
That's okay.
I know.
Bye.
Is what do you do? What makes you itch? What sort of a situation would you like?